Welcome back to Livie's Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel, and I'm your host, Sam the Fabulous. For more ideas, inspiration, swaps, and challenges, click the link in the description below to join our craft community, the Maker Exchange, on Facebook. Welcome back to the Lovely Lab. All right, guys, so today I'm just coming out with a quick little tip on how you can, if you're running out of scrapbook paper or you don't have the colors that you want, you can kind of make some background pages yourself just using papers that you have on hand. Now, I would recommend that you use a white cardstock or a off-white cardstock, but actually you can use scrapbooking paper that you have on hand that maybe have a design on one side and is blank on the other, because it'll still work. So what I'm showing you is basically just some inks that I've laid down and picked up, kind of how they do with jelly prints, but in this particular print, I've just used the inks that I have on hand. Now, you can very easily use markers. I believe you might be able to get the same result with paints, just watering it down. But I'm going to walk you through how I achieved this. Now, these are the inks that I have, or that I used. I used the acid-free Hampton Art dye-based inks. You can also use pigment inks, distress oxides, all of those good things. But here's what I'm working with, guys. Now, for the purposes of this demo, I just took an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and cut it in half, just so it would be easier for me to work with, just, you know, for efficiency purposes. So I've got my paper, okay, and I'm going to try and mimic this here same color palette. Now, what I did here was I used orange, the orange one, and don't mind that little burn there. You know, us being shut in, most of us are cooking more, and some of us don't cook as well as others, me being one of those type of people. So you know, I'm suffering some burns here, but you know, whatever I got to do to make sure my family is safe, I'm gonna go ahead and do. So anyway, so I just patted some of the ink down. Now I'm going to dilute this quite a bit, because the second one I'm not going to dilute. So this is what I'm doing here is I just dropped, this is just water in a little medicine cup, because when you have a kid you get plenty of those, because you get plenty of medicine to keep them well. Okay, and then you can use a credit card or whatever you use to smooth your glues down with. You can just use that. And what you want to do is you want to make sure it's not too puddled anywhere, so that it doesn't take too long to dry, because believe it or not, you can do a variety of different colors as long as the colors that you lay down isn't as long as the paper isn't too saturated. So what I do is I just go along the edges first. So you'll get that. And let me go ahead and crinkle this paper up some, because when the paper is folded you get the different textures. So like this here, okay, so you get the different textures and different shades of the coloring. So let's just go around the edges really lightly so you get it like that. And you don't want to do every edge, you just want to kind of work your way on in, because as you work your way in, you're pulling up the ink from around the edges, okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the opposite side. Doing the edges first and going along the outside of the color. Why? Because the middle part will be the part that has the part that you use for the center of your paper. And I'll show you just now. Okay, so then we have that. Okay, and then I just finish pulling up the rest of the colors and do the same to the opposite side. And this way you can create your own backgrounds. You don't even have to leave your home. You've got some kids markers on hand, I'm pretty sure of it. They won't mind if you use some of their stuff, and you can even bring them in on the action and let them get a little creative with their own supplies. And you hear Josh in the background, he could care less about getting in on this artistic moment. So this is what we're left with. Okay, so that's page number 1. Now what I'm going to do on here is I'm going to move on to a different color. So actually, let me get the rest of this off of here. See if there's any areas that I can. Okay, let me lay this down one good time and soak up all that good ink. All that good ink. Waste not, want not. Okay, so that's done. And I do recommend that if you got just you go out clothes on, that you switch gears and put on something that you don't mind getting messy in. All right, so now I am going to move on to pink. So pink will be the, and this is a light pink, so I'm putting a little bit more ink down, and I'm probably not going to put as much of the water down because it's going to be light. And another thing is, start with your lighter colors first, and the darker colors will lay on top, but they will also provide a great contrast. And if you're just doing one color, you can make your first layer really a little bit more diluted than the last layer if you want to do gradient colors, but keeping it what do they call it, not necessarily monotone, but in the same color scheme. Okay, so yep, that's really light, very light. Okay, so now we're just moving on in. As we move to the center, we're going to move to the center of the paper as well. So I'm going to get the last of this up with this. Okay, and as you can see, here, and then there's a little bit of orange left here, but that's okay because I'm going to put orange on top of here anyways. Okay, so that's the first layer for that. And here you go. There you have it. Different coloring, different textures. And so now let's move on to, I'm going to do another set of this pink because the orange one I'm going to have 3 different colors, or it's going to have 3 different shades. Well, 1 shade of orange and 2 shades of pink, or pinkish red, if you will. Okay, and let me get some folds working in here. All right, spread that out. All right, so now let's see what we're going to work with here. Let's see what we get. Working from the outside. And you can kind of flip it over and see where the white spots are that you can fill in with the additional color, with the secondary color. And then just head in that direction. Now the orange is darker than the pink, so I probably should have started with the pink first, but never fear. It'll be fine. Flip that over. And it's okay if it pulls, because this is art. Perfection is not required. Okay, now let me go ahead and move on to my third color, which will be this darker raspberry color, which is the color that we have here. Okay, now it's still moist, which is fine. It's perfectly fine. All right. Like I said, this is just a quick little overview of how to make this work for you. I hope you're finding this helpful. But again, this is one of those times where we can't get out the house. Maybe you're a mom with small kids, and leaving the house means packing up the kids during normal times, when we're not quarantined and self-isolating. Maybe packing the kids up and getting to the craft store is just a little too taxing. So these is just another way, and maybe you're on a budget. It's just another way to expand your your craft supplies. So I'm going to start on the outside. Let me actually flip this over. Yeah. All right, looking good. Oh yeah, look at that contrast. Get the corner. Let me move this water out the way before we have a catastrophe on our hands, as Josh would say. Make sure I'm in view. And everybody's got a plastic bag, a shopping bag, I'm assuming. So I'm thinking that everyone will be able to achieve this with what they have at home at this current time, which makes this that much more easier to attain. All right, we're almost finished with this one. We get this side here, and then I'm going to use the last little bit on the opposite one. And then you're going to want to, if you can, place books on top of it, just to make sure that it dries flat, if you want them flat. A lot of times we're just using these in our journals, but you can also cut this up in tags, collage with them. Those are great ways to utilize. And another thing is, no one will have this print but you. So, you know, here's to bringing more art into our workspace. All right. And the drier it is, the less muddled the colors will be. But muddled is fine, especially if you're using this for collaging. So, you know, don't be afraid if it gets to starts blending together or anything like that, because you can use it however you want to. There's no limits to how you can use your own art, and I consider it art. All right, so let's take a look. And oh, when you open up the creases, you'll have a little bit more texture you can add. Soak up all that goodness. And there you have it. All right, guys, so here we have it. Let's see what we got here. So we have one that's pink and white, different shades of pink and nice textures and colors. And then we have the orange and pink. And again, these are great for journal covers, tags, adding to your journals. And actually you can use these as bases for cards as well. So, you know, the sky's the limit, and it's up to your imagination how you use these. And if you found this video helpful, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. And until we're back here, oh, and by the way, don't forget to check on your elderly and your neighbors. Make sure everyone's staying healthy and safe and isolated. Okay? All right, and until we're back here again on YouTube, guys, stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay creative and crafting. Bye for now.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe to join the crafty community, and be sure to click the bell for notifications of new uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Now stay tuned for more from Livie'S Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel. Bye for now.